Hello, my friends. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Wednesday Wisdom with Emily Wardrop. Actually, welcome to Believe That You Are a Good Mom podcast. So I send an email to my peeps every Wednesday called Wednesday Wisdom with Emily Wardrop. So if you are not on that email list, go to www.dropthewarlifecoach.com/www for Wednesday Wisdom with Emily Wardrop. And you will get an email, obviously, that's connected to this podcast. So it used to be connected to a YouTube video and a blog and all the things, right? And the blog's been discontinued as the podcast has been started. But all of these are in video form on YouTube, and I'm going to get it wrong again. Spotify has video version of the podcast also. So if you feel like this podcast jumped in and I've been producing content for years that you've missed out on, you're correct. I have. So you can see some of it on YouTube. There's Facebook Live, Instagram Live, all sorts of content on my website. So I want to invite you to my home, not my actual physical home, but my website home, dropthewarlifecoach.com. Similar to my physical home, the doors are open and the friends are welcome. We have friends over all the time. This is kind of the party place of the neighborhood. So whether it be the kids' friends, my friends, any friends, we love friends. So if you know me in real life, that applies to the real house. And if we're virtual friends, then my virtual home is dropthewarlifecoach.com. And I'd love to see you there. I frequent Facebook and Instagram a little bit here and there. But if you really want to hang out, come to where I am in my home. Okay. So today I have a very special guest. Her name is Brooke Sann, and I love her so much. And we will get into that in the interview. But suffice it to say, you're in for a treat. Oh, and yes. One of these days, I will have some intro music and an intro and an outro and all that stuff. But, you know, we're busy mamas. Who's got the time? Actually, technically, I spent probably literally the whole day, the past 5 days, editing an iMovie of our vacation. Well, not even our whole vacation, 1 week, our Disney World adventure. I've been working on an iMovie for. So I do have some experience editing and music and all the things. So one of those days that skill will be applied to this podcast. And also note that in a coming day on the YouTube channel, Drop the War Life Coach, you can see said video. So if you want more details about my Disney vacation than you ever dreamed, they'll be out there for the internet to see. So be looking for that. Go subscribe, right, to my YouTube channel, subscribe to the podcast, and then Drop the War Life Coach on Instagram and Facebook. So with no more ado, let's get into it with Brooke Sann. Okay, so Brooke, do you want to talk about how we know each other?
Yes, let's talk about
Start
that.
with that. Okay, you tell us. Or introduce yourself or both. Whatever.
Well, I want to just point out that you were my life coach.
Oh, so
at
fun.
one point through the Jody Moore program. And I saw this beautiful woman with purple hair, and I'm like, I want to be friends with her. And my sister also was getting coached by you, ironically enough, even though you are halfway across the country.
And there were lots of coaches and lots of clients. The chances
we both
of that
kept
was
saying,
crazy.
I know it was meant to be. I'm convinced of it. But we kept saying, like, I want to be friends with Emily. Like, she's my girl. She's got it going on. We like Emily.
That's it.
Comparing notes.
And I wanted to be friends with you. Want match. Here we are, besties.
Here we are, and we're friends.
Okay, so tell everybody all about you.
Okay, so my name is Brooke Sann, and I'm a certified life coach. And I have only been certified for October 4th will be 1 full year, but I already have a booming life coaching practice as a relationship coach. So it's pretty sweet. I love it.
So what's a relationship coach?
So I help moms reignite the spark in themselves, because all the relationship coaching I do, like, until we can like have a relationship with ourselves, we cannot connect with anybody. We have so many demands. We want other people to change so we feel better, So we always start with ourselves and trying to like figure out who am I and what do I need from a partner. And then once you figure that out, the rest is history. It's easy.
Awesome. Oh, I love it. Love,
Good
love, love it.
stuff.
So let's talk about, well, first tell them about your kids, your family.
Oh yeah. So I have a husband. We've been married for 13 years now, I believe. And we have 3 kids, 3 sons. I always like to point that out. I think that puts me in a different class than a
That's
lot of people,
boy,
right?
mom. It's a
Boy
thing.
mom, hashtag boy mom. But yeah, I
Mhm.
have an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 4-year-old. So yeah, I'm living the messy boy life for sure.
And this year they're all in school.
And this year, as of 2 weeks ago, they are all in school full time.
And it's so glorious.
It's wonderful. I love it. Yeah.
Okay. And okay, so reigniting the spark. And one of the things that has helped you reignite the spark is using my little catchphrase, tip, trick, tool thing that I like to talk about being a good mom, right? We're here to talk about believing that we are a good mom. So in order to believe that you're a good mom, you have to think that you're a good mom over and over and over, because that's what a belief is a thought that we keep on thinking. And so I like to remind my brain, and I am still a good mom, because my brain
Yes.
likes to point out all the reasons why it thinks that I'm not a good mom. But I know who I am, who I actually am at my core is good. And so I remind myself that even though my daughter's not wearing clothes and she's watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and whatever the experts say about how much screen time is too much screen time, and I am still a good mom. So tell me and everyone listening how that little trick has helped you.
It hasn't helped me. It's changed me, to be honest with you, because for the last 8.5 years since I've become a mom, this was my thinking. This is pre-coach brain. It was what would a good mom do? All the time. That was my go-to question when my kid was crying or he wasn't sleeping or wasn't drinking. I'm like, what would the perfect mom do in this situation? So I was taking me and comparing it to this non-existent perfect mom.
Exactly.
And so I would do everything I would do. I'd be like, oh, but a perfect mom would have done this. And a perfect mom would have done that. So all the time I was shaming myself. I was making myself feel guilty and like just totally incapable. And so I was showing up as a pretty incapable mom. I was just always confused, like, I don't know what to do. So in comes Emily. I heard this podcast and it seriously changed me forever. You were talking to Tyson and you're talking about like I think it was your identity. Was that
Yeah.
the podcast?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
was
Yeah. His
inherent?
podcast is called The Inherent Identity.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
he
So we're
has a
talking
whole
about
inherent identity process that I've used just for this one thing. He uses it for
gotcha.
like everything. And I'm like, let me just start with this.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I heard this. And then all of my thoughts that day, I would like do the thing. And then I would think like, and I'm still a good mom.
Mhm.
It changed me because I got to define myself as what I believe a good mom is. And I
Mhm.
kept telling myself, and I am still a good mom.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you are.
I loved it.
Awesome. So awesome. So how about some like feet on the ground examples?
Oh, goodness. Okay. Yes. So, like I said, I defined what a good mom is. And I say, like, a, let me give you one real example.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Let's get into it.
My 4-year-old son opened his book bag one time and there were 6 pocket knives open. 6 pocket knives open. Okay. And I'm being real and raw here, ladies. Fear overtook my body and I spanked my son and I told myself, and I'm still a good mom.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why, because I believe that a good mom disciplines her kids. And I believe that a good mom reacts that way out of fear. And that's okay.
Yeah. And that's okay.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
Because old Brooke, the old version of me, I would have been, after I spanked my son, I would have been in a funk for months.
Yeah. Yes.
I would have just been so upset with myself. I would have I wouldn't have told a soul. I would have just been totally just depressed, really. I've been there. I've lived that one. And I was like, you know what? I spanked my son. I felt fear. I spanked him because I'm a good mom and I discipline my kids. And that's okay.
Yeah. And that is where we play out the model to see, because people get stuck at the part where they're like, oh, but that if I'm just rationalizing my behavior, then I'll just continue doing the bad behavior. That's what people think. So like if I say I spanked my son and I'm still a good mom, then I'll just continue to spank my son. Like that's what they think. But we know that it actually works the opposite. And you just described exactly why that is. Because if you get stuck in that shame spiral, then you actually become the quote unquote bad mom. Like that's just in a funk in her bed watching Netflix all the time. And the kids are doing who knows what with the pocket knives. Right? It's like,
right.
So like we have to, you know, manage our brains and talk back to them and say, yes, I know you think that letting myself off the hook is going to make me a better mom, but it's really not. If I just am beating myself up all day, then when the kid comes in with any little request, hey mom, can I have some cereal? No, because like we blow up because we're just yelling at ourselves. We need to yell at them because we're yelling at ourselves. Like we have to drop the whole war and then come back in the peace that we're looking for. And we can't have that peace when we're, you know, spiraling down in that shame loop and like you said, even all the way to depression, right? So yeah, that's a great example. And even like your vulnerability and sharing that, it shows that like you've dealt with the shame, like you felt it, it passes through you, and then it doesn't have to consume you and take over your life and make you a quote unquote bad mom.
Yeah.
And know that you are a good mom.
I believe every mom gets one good spank per child in their lifetime. And I used mine in the right moment.
Age 4. So what was the deal with the pocket knives?
Well, now we have a big safe and they're all locked up forever. So
there we go. So he had them like actually at school?
No, he potentially was going to bring them to school. It was in his backpack.
So you caught it before the real damage was done. Anyway, okay, so here's the thing is I am a good mom. Like, yes, we all get to define what that actually means for us, like what a good mom would do, because that's what you were saying. Like you were so bogged down with the thought, like, what would a perfect mom do? We're all trying to be perfect for some reason. Like, where did we get that idea? Why do we expect ourselves to be perfect, first of all? So we're all humans, right? And that's where, and I am a good mom is kind of like the, and it's okay. You know, I just spanked my son and it's okay. And then our brain is like, no, it's not okay. And we're like, it's okay because I'm a human. I give myself grace for being a human. I know I'm never going to be perfect. And I know that Jesus made it okay. Like that's the whole plan, to come down here and be imperfect. Like nobody ever sent us down here and said, okay, be perfect. I know you can. He was like, I know that I'm putting you in this mortal probation to see what you can do with these conditions. And that means that you're not going to be perfect. And so I've provided a plan that Christ can make it okay. And so it's okay because of him. It's not okay because like we can't ever return to God in this imperfect state. Like once we make one mistake, that's it. That's it. And so it's not okay in that sense. And the reason why it is okay is because Christ made the way for us to repent and make it okay. And so when we remember that, then we give ourselves grace that comes from Christ, then we can continue on in grace and peace and love and all the things. But it's Satan that wants us to be like, oh, you messed up. Just continue to mess up then. Shame yourself about it. Because shame says there's something wrong with me. And yeah, we're humans. So there is kind of, you know, we're human. We're going to make mistakes. But there's nothing inherently wrong with us. Inherently, we're made out of God's DNA. He's good. We're good. Full stop. Like,
I love that. I heard you say that, and that really resonated with me. This idea, like inside, it is part of me. Like that's my divine being. I am an example of that. But so easily we want to forget that.
Yeah.
We just define ourselves by like the visuals around us, like our home and our income. And we define ourselves by all of those things, which like, yeah, God's good. We're part of that being. And so we are good too.
Yeah. And so we do a bunch of stuff that's not good, but who cares? Like that's the point of this life, is to try to get that figured out. So not who cares and like I just keep doing it kind of way, but who cares as in like, We don't need to make it mean a bunch of crap about our own identity, because that's what we do as moms. Like, have you noticed this? Like, let's just do this test real quick. Okay. You want to play with me?
Oh, yes, always.
I like to do this in my workshops and things with my clients. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate yourself as a person?
As a person?
Yeah.
I'm like a 8.
Oh, nice. She's been coaching for a while. She knows. How about as a hairdresser or whatever you call yourself? What are you, a stylist?
Yeah, stylist. I would say an 8 too.
Yeah.
Am I failing at this test?
No. There's no right or wrong answer. It's
okay.
Just whatever. It's just for self-reflection, whatever. All the listeners do it too. Okay. So what other identities do you have as a wife? Where are you at?
Wife, I'm like a 7.
And housekeeper?
Oh man, like a 2.
Okay. What else is there? What other hats do you have or things you take on kind of as an identity?
A life
Or a
coach.
sister? Oh yeah, as a life coach.
Yeah, I'd say I'm an 8.
An 8. Okay. As sister?
Maybe a 7.
And as a mom?
Oh, mom. Yeah, there's some work to be done here, like 4, 5, I'd say.
Okay. So what I find interesting that you didn't do, most people and maybe I asked it in the wrong order. I don't know. I'm experimenting with this fun little game. But most people, how they rate themselves as a mom is very similar to how they rate themselves overall.
Oh.
So they take their like mom identity as who they are, right? Like if I'm a terrible mom, then I'm a terrible person, basically.
Oh, interesting.
That's kind of what their brains are making it mean. Like I yell at my kid, I'm a terrible person, right?
And I've kind of looked at the opposite. Like I'm doing great in everything else, but this is where I struggle. This is in my mom category. That's where I'm failing in my mind.
Yeah. So then when you're thinking like, can we keep using the knife example or do you want to use a different one?
Yes. Please.
How about one pre-coaching? Because you did a great job coaching yourself through that.
Oh, pre-coaching.
Old Brooke would have like,
can
you think of a fun example from old Brooke?
Oh, let's see. Oh my goodness. There's so many.
You can pick a benign one.
I remember when like the trying to get the kids out the door in the morning mayhem. Yeah. And I remember shaking a child like, come on, we gotta go. It's time to go. We're late. I don't know, something to that effect. I just remember his little face, his big eyes.
No, all those faces would totally break your heart.
Yeah.
Snap you back into reality. You're like, whoa, what am I doing?
Yeah. For sure.
Okay, so in coaching, what we would do, there's 2 different ways to look at the scenario is why was it that you did that, right? That's in your action line. So what were you thinking and feeling that led to that action? And then to kind of plan ahead in the future, how to keep that from happening. And then there's also, so you finally did get them in the car, got them to wherever they were going. Maybe it was even school. So you came back by yourself. In the drive on the way home, what were you thinking and feeling after the fact? So that's like some good juicy coaching stuff to look at, right? And that's where this trick comes in, right? Is like, I shook my child and I am still a good mom. And then your brain is going to have all the resistance to believing that. No, because good moms do not act like that because good moms, blah, 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 blah. And that's what we coach on is trying to clean that up and remind ourselves. Because like you said, like we really believe this, who we really are. It resonates with us because it's true. It is who we are, but we've forgotten. And so it's so fun to get little glimpses of like eternity, where things like eternal truths just really resonate with us. But we're like, oh, wow, that is true. But we're here on earth and it's so easy to forget. And especially like in high emotion situations like that, it's so easy to forget because our brains are offline and when emotions are high, And so then when the brain starts coming back in and analyzing things, it's, not remembering, right? Who we actually are and that it's okay and whatever. So I don't remember where I was going with all this, but
can I interrupt then while you're thinking?
Yes.
Well, it just goes back to this idea. We talk about this all the time in my program, like our behavior follows our beliefs, right? So like what we believe about ourselves, that's going to show how we behave. Like if I
Exactly.
truly believe that I'm a good mom, then I'm going to behave like a good mom.
Exactly. But we do the opposite. We take the action and make it define our belief.
Yes.
And that's where we have to flip the script. Like it's
Yes.
not, yes. So you did those things, but
Mm-hmm.
but you already believe that you're a good mom. And so you did those things.
Mm-hmm.
But
But
you
here,
are still a good mom.
if you don't have that verbiage though, like you can't you can't redirect your brain.
Yeah.
It's like the brain, because we are trying to avoid negative emotion all the time, it's on autopilot, just trying to like make us feel this shame cycle and this negative emotion. It just keeps us here.
Yeah.
It doesn't allow us to actually decide how we want to behave in those moments.
Exactly. So tell us again your little thing. I loved it.
Which one?
The belief.
Oh, behavior follows belief.
That's a good little tag phrase. I love it.
I love that one too, because I just see that as soon as I identify. And if you think about it, like I always have a hard time. Here's a little tangent, but I always have a
I
hard
love
time with like Alcoholics Anonymous.
it. Mm-hmm.
Like when they go to that class, they identify like I am an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And I always struggle with that a little bit because I just feel like that doesn't serve us to like believe that about ourselves.
Yeah.
Like if we want to identify and if we want to behave like someone who doesn't drink, like we identify ourselves as I'm a non-drinker.
Yeah.
Right. Or like someone trying to smoke. As soon as you change the identity, the like core of like who we are, then the actions follow that. It's like a
Exactly.
ripple effect.
Yes, exactly. I've always struggled with that too. And I'm like, I guess I know the neuroscience behind it. It is different than some
I
neuroscience.
don't
I
know. So
know.
I need a scientist to explain that one to me. But
Yeah, I know, me too. Because for sure, like I would want to go in there and be like, I'm a recovering addict, or I used to be or something, at least like a ladder,
yeah.
because
Mhm.
you come in there and say, I'm a non-drinker, and you just drank last night. Like maybe your brain's not going to believe that. So that's why I like to say, and I'm still a good mom, because I'm not arguing with the first part. I just like let my brain even think that if she wants to. Like
Mhm.
I dropped the argument with my brain on the first part, the first part that's like, yeah, your kids ate ramen again last night for dinner for the 400th time. And that makes you a bad mom, basically, is what my brain is thinking. And I'm like, yeah, brain, you can think that if you want to. And I know that I am good.
Yeah,
Like,
I like that. I just had never thought about it that way. It's just like add on. Boop.
yeah. So you go into AA meeting and you're like, what do they usually say? Hi, I'm
I'm
Emily and I'm an alcoholic.
yeah.
Like, hi, I'm Emily and I used to identify as an alcoholic, but I'm working on believing that I'm a non-drinker or whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I think it's the like bridge thought, like you said, like creating this belief, I am a good mom.
yeah.
That is
And so
very
my bridge thoughts are kind of like, because my brain still doesn't even believe it. Like I add that on there to kind of try to remind myself, but I have to like full on get into like, no, I'm a daughter of God, da, 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 like remembering that whole thing in those heat of the moments. Like that doesn't happen,
Mhm.
And so then I just kind of give myself grace after the fact, that my brain's going to do what my brain does. For some reason, it thinks it's protective to be trash talking myself. Like I have yet to stop beating myself up. It would be nice, hopefully someday maybe I can get there. But like in the meantime, this is where I'm at. And it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. That's it. That's all you need. It's fine. Okay, anything else we should talk about? Or there's no shoulds, just whatever you want.
Oh, let's see.
Tell people how they can work with you, because you have a
Oh,
booming coaching practice.
yeah.
This is a
Yeah. No.
program. Is that like a one-on-one program or
Yeah, I do one-on-one coaching. So they meet with me once a week for 20 weeks. And yeah, we do all the things, but all of my clients leave knowing that they have a relationship with themselves and they have the power to create connection and passion and purpose in their marriage and in their relationships.
So is it marriage what you're focusing on mostly? Like I know you
I
work on your relationship with yourself, but as people don't like come to a coach, hey, I need to work on myself. They're like, I can't stand my husband.
Yes, right.
Is it
Right.
usually husband stuff?
Yes,
That's the
it's normally
relationship.
marriages, right? Any relationship really, but we always start the core of reigniting that spark in ourselves. So yeah, you can find me at brooksann.com. I'm on all the social medias, the YouTubes, the
Mhm.
Instagrams, the Facebooks.
The multiple face clicks in Instagram.
All the
Awesome.
things.
That's so fun. So yeah, if you want to work on your relationship with your husband, go to Brooke. You want to work on your relationship with your kids, I'm your girl. Either way, it all starts with your relationship with yourself, right?
Love it.
Believing that you are a good wife, right? Have you used the trick for that relationship too?
Yeah, absolutely. That one's powerful too.
Yeah. Because even when I said it just now, I was like, no. I'm like, yes, I am. And I did whatever last night. Yes, that happened. And I'm still a good wife.
I like that. Actually, I should adapt that one a little bit more. We'll have to play with that one. That's
Yeah.
fun.
I'm gonna actually I'm super excited. I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but I'm going on the Sex for Saints podcast soon.
Oh,
Amanda
girl.
Louder. So we're going to
Yeah.
talk about I am a good lover.
Ooh,
And
that's
actually
powerful.
believing that I am a good mom has really helped me like be a better wife and a better lover and a better everything,
Yeah.
because like I just believe in who I am inherently as good. And really it's because of that shame thing we were talking about, like when you ditch imagine yourself in this huge same cycle, up in bed, watching Netflix, like depressed, and then your husband wants to do husband stuff. It's like, no thanks, dude. I'm in my little shame shell. Like, yeah, there's no opening up and being vulnerable and getting connected with anyone when we're in our little shame shell. So
Absolutely. Yeah. It all starts with the work we do on ourselves for sure. We want to show up as the good mom or show up as the good wife we want to be or the good lover. I love that one. Yeah. Got to do the work on ourselves first.
for sure. Well, so fun. Thanks for coming to chat with me, Brooke.
Super fun. Thanks for having me, Emily.
All right. We'll see you next time.